Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you episode 33 of my brand new Comics Haul series. This is a series where each and every week when I head down to my local comic shop and pick up all the new issues I'm going to be getting that week, I show you guys everything I got and tell you guys a little bit about every single issue. So here's the bag for today. Let's pull these comics out of the bag as always. I've got quite a haul for today. I got every single issue I wanted to this week, plus a trade paperback collection that I'm also excited to have. Here's the stack. So let's get right into it, but as always, now that we've got these comics out of the bag, we got to get the bag out of the way. Alright, now that that's over with, let's get right into the stack that I've got today. So this week I got 6 issues from Marvel, 2 issues from Image, so that's 8 single issues, plus a trade paperback from Image that I'll show at the very end. So naturally we'll start off with Marvel here, and I am going to be giving out my awards this week, just special awards that I give to the issues I'm the most excited about. The award for this issue right here, Fantastic Four issue number 35, goes to my most anticipated issue of the week by far. This one is really exciting. As you can see here, this book has a spine. It's basically trade paperback form, practically. Had to spend $10 on this issue, but naturally, that's how anniversary issues go. You can see on the cover there by Mark Brooks, it's also a really cool cover. It's 60 years of Fantastic Four. 1961, they first appeared in Fantastic Four number 1. Now, 60 years later, Dan Slott is writing the book. So this issue is, of course, written by Dan Slott. There's also, I think, a backup story written by Mark Waid, but we get 80 pages of story in total, and the main story is illustrated by John Romita Jr., who just recently came back to Marvel, and this issue did get pushed back, I think, a few weeks. It was supposed to come out last month, because $10 issues like this, that's like quadruple the regular size of a 20-page issue that we would usually get from this series. But the villain of this issue is Kang. I think this is really just going to be a one-off story that, like I was saying, could have been like a 4-issue story arc, but instead they're cramming it into this one anniversary issue. We need to do something for the Fantastic Four 60th anniversary. Don't worry, we'll just put a little tag in the corner of each issue. No, we should do something special, like an oversized issue. Ooh, I don't know about that, Dan. I promise I'll have it ready in time. Really? Before the deadline? Well, I didn't say that. Do you have the story planned out? Yeah, maybe a time travel story. Great, then you're gonna use Kang. What? I don't like Kang. Not really your choice. I mean, he's the new villain in the movies. You know how it goes. But I don't like him. Too bad. Alright, next up from Marvel Comics this week, I've got another Fantastic Four issue. This is another 60th anniversary issue, and this is Fantastic Four Life Story issue number 4. What if these heroes had aged in real time? We had Spider-Man Life Story by Chip Zdarsky. We had an annual for that recently, but that's fully wrapped up. Now we're just completely focusing on Fantastic Four Life Story, which is this other universe. It's written by Mark Russell with art by Sean Isaacs on this issue, and we see Galactus on the cover there. That's a really, really cool Daniel Acuna cover. Almost gave this best cover art of the week because there's been some really good covers for these Life Story issues, and as this series continues, we've been seeing some really interesting things going on. There was a huge thing that happened at the end of last issue, a major death that I won't spoil if anybody's reading this series and hasn't read issue number 3 yet, but I definitely recommend hopping on it. It's been a little slow in my opinion. We haven't actually had too much happening when you'd expect there would be a lot of things going on because each issue covers a decade. So that's Fantastic Four Life Story issue number 4, the 90s. And next up from Marvel this week, I've got an event comic. This is the penultimate issue of this event, which is The Last Annihilation, and this is a Wakanda one-shot. Last Annihilation Wakanda is following the intergalactic empire of Wakanda, which I guess they were introduced in Ta-Nehisi Coates' run of Black Panther, which just recently wrapped up with issue 25. I read the first few issues of that most recent run. I didn't like it that much. I'm actually not that big a fan of any of Ta-Nehisi Coates' work for Marvel. To each his own though, but I'm excited to hop on the new Black Panther book when it comes out. So this is just a one-shot tying into Last Annihilation, which is Al Ewing's whole big cosmic Marvel event that's going on in the pages of Guardians of the Galaxy, but we've had all of these different one-shot tie-ins. The Sword team is getting involved, but Dormammu is at the center of it all. He's the main villain. He's bonded with Ego the Living Planet, and now they're together spewing out all of these mindless ones which are attacking different nations. I don't think this issue should actually matter that much. I mostly wanted it to complete my collection of Last Annihilation and to get more information about what the intergalactic empire of Wakanda is all about. So that's The Last Annihilation Wakanda number 1. And next up from Marvel Comics this week, I've got another event book another penultimate issue actually. This is Extreme Carnage Agony #1, and this one I'm giving my award for the best cover art of the week. This is done by Scan, who's been doing a lot of the different covers for the Extreme Carnage event. I'm not familiar with the Agony character, but you don't really need to be that familiar with any of these symbiotes to pick up Extreme Carnage. All you need to know is that they've been around for a while, they're roaming the streets of New York City and other places, and they're bonding with brand new hosts, just random people. So now the Agony symbiote, I guess, is doing work for Carnage. Carnage, the event is named after him. It's Extreme Carnage, is at the center of it all. He's been hijacking this senator who's got like this whole operation going on. It's written by Alyssa Wong with art by Fran Galan. We've had a really consistent story in this with consistent writing and everything, despite there being like 4 different creative teams working on these 8 issues in total. So that's Extreme Carnage Agony #1. Can't wait to see how this is going to wrap up. And for the second to last issue that I picked up from Marvel this week, I've got another big release. This is X-Men The Trial of Magneto, issue #2. The first issue, I didn't actually like it that much. I did enjoy it. It was readable and everything. It just wasn't my favorite. I think that first issue definitely got some mixed reviews. Some people were saying they loved it. They liked seeing Magneto in the spotlight, which I definitely agree on. We just didn't get like actually that much of Magneto in the story. So something interesting, a behind the scenes thing that I was reading about on some article somewhere, is that this miniseries wasn't actually supposed to happen in this format. This was supposed to just be a story arc of the X Factor series, but that got abruptly ended with issue #10. The writer of X Factor and now the writer of Trial of Magneto, Leah Williams, said that Marvel decided it would be best to make this a miniseries of its own because the story arc idea was so huge. I think this is going to really start ramping up and affecting Krakoa in big ways. Hopefully it'll get better in this issue. So that's Trial of Magneto #2. And now for the last issue that I picked up from Marvel Comics this week, I've got The Mighty Valkyries #5. This definitely would have been a contender for best cover art of the week because that's a really interesting photorealistic cover by Mattia Diulis, who also does the interior artwork for this series. And the cover here actually does sum up like maybe half of the plot of this whole story. There's a lot going on, and it's been at least a month since we've had the last issue, obviously. So I might need a refresher. I might need to look through some older issues. It's been a decent miniseries in my opinion. I think I wouldn't like it very much, except the art is what really backs it up. This, realistic art style by Mattia Diulis, except with these fantasy creatures like wolves and, dragons and stuff are also being included, except it looks like real life. That's my favorite part of this miniseries so far, but we have Hela involved, Carnilla involved, and then these random little babies that we see on the cover here being held by Jane Foster. They were taken from somebody who had just given birth to them on Earth, just a regular human, by Carnilla, the Norn Queen. So she's been raising them and trying to make them gods, but they need to be returned to their rightful owners. We'll see how it ends. So that's The Mighty Valkyries #5. And now moving on to Image Comics, I've got 2 single issues from them and 1 collection this week, and the first one here is a very big release that I've been looking forward to for a little while. This is Primordial issue #1 of 6. It's only going to be 6 issues, just a mini-series, but I'm giving this issue my Best Creative Team of the Week award because we've got Jeff Lemire on writing here, a legendary writer, and art by Andrea Sorrentino, one of my favorite artists of all time. He's done a lot of work for Marvel, especially with Jeff Lemire. The only thing that I've read that they've worked on together is actually their Old Man Logan run, which I absolutely loved. But of course, what they're best known for is Gideon Falls. The idea is that before they launched humans into space, you've probably heard of them, all of these different animals, these monkeys, these dogs that they sent into space with the spaceships before humans, they were all presumed dead. But this is the story of what actually happened to them. So we're going to get into some alternate stuff, some aliens, some insane, maybe like multiverse things going on in this story with a really strange art style, but I think it'll flow really nicely because they've worked together so many times, this creative team. Primordial #1 from Image Comics. I can't wait to see what this story is about. And now for the final single issue that I picked up this week from Image Comics, I've got Time Before Time #5. This is the conclusion to this first 5-issue story arc of this series that we've gotten, and I've loved it. I think issue 1 was like one of my favorite issues of the year, but as this story has progressed, I think issue 2 I didn't like quite as much, but it's picked back up again with 3 and 4, and now we're down to the last issue of this story arc. It follows Tatsuo, who's the guy we see on the cover there, and it's about time travel. So there's this crime syndicate which has cracked time travel. They have these like time pods, and Tatsuo was working for them. So he tried to escape after a while. He wasn't liking the way he was living his life, working for this crime organization, but then he got hijacked by an FBI worker who was trying to find her way to her family because they got separated. The syndicate, their deal is that they send people back to the past. So that's Time Before Time, issue #5, the final issue of this story arc. Alright, and now for the final thing that I picked up. This is a trade paperback from Image Comics. I'm so happy to have found this. I've been planning on getting it. I didn't ask for it to be set aside or anything, so I was just hoping to find this on the shelves, and I did. It just came out this week, the Stray Dogs trade paperback. So I'm sure a lot of you guys got the single issues of Stray Dogs. It was just a 5-issue miniseries, plus they've got a volume 2, which is coming in December of this year, and I've heard so many good things about it. This has had like 3rd, 4th, and 5th printings. It's a really cartoony art style. That's what I think turned a lot of people off of it when it first came out, but there's quite a twist to this book. There was a free comic book day issue, so I got a little bit of a preview of what the series is about from that, and it definitely made me want to get the trade paperback of the first 5 issues. And basically it's these stray dogs are being like kidnapped by this guy. They're all brought together, but then there's like a murder mystery behind it. This guy is like maybe murdering his victims that he takes the dogs from or something. I don't know. All you guys who read the single issues know what the deal is with the story. It should be a pretty quick read. I don't think it's very word heavy. So I'm so happy to find this Stray Dogs trade paperback, and that volume 2 is coming in December. So if I really enjoy the first volume, maybe I'll get that second volume when the single issues come out. So that's Stray Dogs, the first trade paperback. Can't wait to read it. Alright, well that's every single one of the brand new issues that I picked up this week. I want to know what you guys got though. Let me know down in the comment section below. It was quite a week of books for me, but what did you guys pick up? If you already read your issues, which was your favorite issue of the week? Or if you haven't yet, which was your most anticipated? So if you did get some good information from this video, or if you enjoyed it at all, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That's the big red button which is sitting right below this video. You can also hit the notifications bell which is sitting right next to it. You'll be notified every single time I post a new video if you don't want to miss any. So that's everything from me for today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye, guys.